Well, I guess I have to actually do this video instead of watching a bunch of random shows. I mean, I was about to watch The Owl House, which I heard has a gay couple, which could be pretty interesting. And girls! I want to see wet, hot, oily men! So, in the most recent war, that war doesn't count, that's still going on. In War 102, the one that does matter, a lot of discussion about the 75 and the 94.5mm ammo came up for pretty good reason, especially for a colonial like myself, who got the brunt of all of this annoying, very painful pain. The thing is, in this post-season war, they added the STD, or the Silverhand Tank Destroyer. I'll be talking about that later. First, I'll talk about the 75 and the 94.5, which a lot of people say is the basis with this issue, and I somewhat agree. So, pretty much, 75 and 94.5. These ammos are effectively later game versions of ammos we already have, the 40mm and the 68mm. 40mm is meant to be more all-round ammo, and usually the ammo used against structures and buildings, because 68mm ammo can better pierce armor, but does less damage against buildings. So a lot of people usually use the 40mm against buildings, and 68 exclusively against tanks. You fucking dumbass. The thing is, 75 is better against buildings, 94.5 better against tanks. Sort of the same little dichotomy. I don't know what that word means. The weirdest thing about all of this is that the tanks that have 40mm usually have more range than 68mm. But for some reason, tanks that have the 94.5mm have more range than tanks that have the 75. Which doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't really make sense. They're meant to be later game versions of ammo that already exists, except one aspect of them are switched. 94.5 is very powerful. Not even just that, the 94.5 not only having more range than 75, but it also has a 3 times multiplier on destroying a subsystem. A subsystem is like the tracks, the engines, or the turret on a tank. They can all be disabled. And it practically has 100%. Whatever percent it actually has is a fucking lie. It's 100%. I think we all know that. But this all layers in to everything else I'm going to talk about, like the STD, the Talos, the Stygian, the Ares, and the Predator. It all lays into that, with the starting of 94.5 being a very powerful ammo. But here's the thing. If you saw this ammo once every so often, it could definitely be ignored when it demolishes your tank, because usually when it's a part of the Hasta or the Predator, 2 very expensive tanks that take a very long time to make on their own, I don't really see a very big reason to complain when you see them once in every so often. Especially because it took a very long time to make that tank. It took a very long time just to get the stuff to then make that tank. And it took a very long time to get the stuff to make that tank. So you rarely ever see it. And the second you see it, you see that fucker?
Get that motherfucker!
It is very clear to me the point of 94.5mm to be a very powerful ammo type. Very powerful ammo type. The issue, in my opinion, is the tanks and what it's been given to. Honestly, I do agree that it definitely needs a bit of a nerf. Maybe give it 2 times subsystem destroy multiplier. 3 times is way too fucking high. It is 100%, I swear to God. But I would like to talk about the SAD and the Stygian. I never liked the Stygian in the first place. I'm a colonial, and I really do not like the Stygian. It's fucking stupid. The Stygian is stupid. Because 94.5mm ammo can one-shot a light tank. It is a very powerful ammo type. Even if it's nerfed down to a 2 times subsystem multiplier destroy, I'm tired. Even if it's nerfed down a bit to what I believe it should be, which is just a 2 times multiplier on destroying subsystems, it's still going to be very powerful. And that's where it all sort of culminates for me here, is that it's on the SCD and the Stygian. Now the Silverhand Tank Destroyer, you make a Silverhand, aka the one tank that Wardens make. They all make, every single Warden making tanks usually makes Silverhands and a couple others. But the Silverhands are the main tanks you always got. Don't take too long to build, longer than a lot of colonial tanks, but realistically, it ain't really that long. But the thing is, you take that, and then you bring it to a modification station, and if I'm correct, it's 10 minutes to make it from there. You just take an extra 10 minutes after taking your Silverhand, and you make it into a thing that has 94.5mm ammo. A very powerful ammo that you can practically spam. And now you see the issue here, boy. And that's the issue with the Stygian. The Stygian, you made a bolt. No, hold on, no way. You make a push gun. You take the push gun. You go modify it a bit. Now you got a spammable 94.5. I always hated that. That was always so stupid. And then they did it with the STD. They saw the issue with the Stygian and made it 10 times worse. Honestly, the best thing I've thought up with, in my totally not humble opinion, that's practically factual information, is that the STD and the Stygian should have 75mm ammo. Now, first, I'll talk about balancing the STD. I at first believe that tanks with 75mm ammo probably should get a buff to their range, and that 94.5 need a nerf. Next, STD. It should get a little bit more of a buff, or maybe just keep it the same. Keep the barrel length the same, but give it 75mm ammo. Now, hear me out. This thing will have long range. Maybe even get even longer range. Thing is, the gun pokes way out in front of the tank, which I will talk about why having a barrel that goes in front of the tank and away from the body of the tank makes a tank better. I'll explain that later when talking about the Ares and the Predator. But this thing, I feel, can act as 75mm sniper tank. Thing is, this thing will have a long range. Maybe even buff its range from now. Maybe even buff its range and make it shoot even farther than it currently does, and keep the barrel length as long as it currently is. This can very easily make it a sniper tank, although nerf the speed. This thing is faster than the Talos. That's fucking stupid. Nerf the speed. Thing is, this could be it could be the first sniper tank, and it could be a pretty powerful thing. Keep it open top, and biggest thing, make it actually open top. No, in fact, the SCD isn't open top.
First off, if it's moving, you do 0 damage with grenades, and the only way to decrew is a mid-air explosion, so you have to be perfect. The hitbox seems to be messed up as well. If you land a grenade inside a non-moving one, it never kills them all. One always survives. Oh, Mammons do 0 damage as well.
You can't kill the driver. And if you throw a grenade and it lands in the tank, it doesn't kill anyone. If you have a normal grenade and you want to kill anybody in this damn tank with it, you have to time the grenade to blow up directly above the tank. And then again, the driver doesn't die. You can't kill the driver. Just fix all these fucking issues. Actually make it a open top tank. Make it 75mm. Maybe buff the ammo. Maybe not buff the ammo. Maybe buff the range. And nerf the speed down to at least the speed of the Talos. And I feel as if you have a pretty powerful long-range tank meant to get snipes off, but very vulnerable in a fight, because all it takes is one infantry throwing a grenade in, and boom, boom, everyone dead inside. You know, if you actually make it fucking open top. Here's the next big issue. Any kind of sniper at all, period. Snipers are hated in a lot of games. I mean, I fucking hate the sniper TF2. My two mains in TF2 are heavy and medic. 300 hours on heavy and medic. I love sniper. Thing is, this is also snipers also at one point became an issue in Foxhole. Thing is, I'm not sure if snipers still exist. They might have been removed. I really don't. I haven't seen snipers in a while. But the thing is with snipers in Foxhole is that they were at one point an issue. Originally, snipers worked by having you make the sniper and there's a special ammo exclusively for snipers, making them pretty rare on the battlefield actually. You'd have to not only make the snipers, but then also bring the ammo for the snipers. If you want to use a sniper, you'd find a sniper somewhere that somebody made, and then somehow find the ammo exclusively for snipers. So unless you're making it yourself, it's a big pain in the ass to ever use one. The thing is, they changed this. They wanted snipers to be used more. So they made it they made snipers use 7.62 ammo, aka the ammo for all normal rifles. So all you had to do was just find a sniper, and you can pretty much take all the ammo that's in every single base at the front everywhere, ever. This became an issue. It's pretty hard to find a sniper, pretty hard to shoot a sniper. It's a top-down game, little known fact. I said gown. It's a top-down game, and it's gonna be fine. Mother, I'm gonna fucking blow up an orphanage. Like, holy shit. It's a top-down game, little known fact. Yes! Yes, I said it! Yes! It's a top-down game, little known fact. Thing is, because all you needed to do was find a sniper and you had a limitless supply of ammo because everybody made 7.62 ammo because it's the ammo that loads every single rifle in the game. All they do is just find a sniper, and they had effectively infinite ammo, making a giant issue. It's hard to figure out even if a sniper is shooting you because of how this game works. Your view is pretty limiting. And finding a sniper is half impossible without binoculars or another sniper, and it just became a giant pain in the ass. I'm pretty sure snipers got removed. I may be wrong. I just haven't seen snipers in a little bit. It may just be me being very lucky, but whatever. One way or another. Having a sniper tank can definitely become an issue if no other tanks can contest it, which brings up the Stygian. Of course, make this 75mm ammo. Any tank that's a spammable version of 94.5 is too overpowered. Okay, 94.5 is a very powerful ammo type, and being able to have a large amount of things at the front line with 94.5 makes practically every other tank worthless. There's no point. You have the 94.5, just use those. Which is, you know, why I want the Stygian and the SCD to have 75. But the thing is, I originally was pretty stuck on what the fuck to do with the Stygian. I mean, if you just make a 75mm ammo, why ever use it? We have the Talos. There's our spammable version of 75, and then the Wardens would have their spammable version of 75 being the Stygian. The Stygian. Yeah, the Wardens have the Stygian. I'm like one bad day away, bro. Like, not even a day, like one bad fucked up sentence away, bro. Like, I mean straight up. The ones now have the SCD, which is 75mm sniper gun, spammable 75mm. If you just make the Stygian 75mm, there's really no point. Who gives a fuck? It's just shit. It's just another version of the Talos, except even worse than the Talos. I have constantly said to other people in previous videos that the Talos doesn't exist. I don't like the Talos. I hate the Talos. Thing's a piece of shit. Is having a worse version of it is fucking stupid. But then, while thinking about the SCD and it being a sniper, and thinking about how am I gonna fix the issue of okay, I'm fucking done. Look, your officer, it was all just for goofs. It was all just for jokes, man.
You murdered 32 people. What is wrong with you? You can't. No. This is not something you just do and then say, "Oh, it was a joke." That's shoplifting, dude. You can't. This is not a petty crime. This is not punching someone in the face that annoyed you. This is killing people.
Look, man. I mean, like.
No. You got a death row. You get the electric chair.
It's pretty hard to hide a land crisis, sir. It's like they should have seen it coming. Thing is, the Wardens having a sniper tank and the Colonials not having a sniper tank could have been very, yeah. Police at the door. Ignore them. They're not here for any reason. Don't let them in. I better make this quick. Which thing goes back to the Stygian. A worse version of the Talos is something we really don't want. I really don't even want the Talos. Talos is a piece of shit. Go away. The thing is, what if the Stygian is a sniper? So the Wardens get the sniper tank, we get the sniper push gun. I mean, it might work. We could give it a lot more range, and yeah, you know, it could be heat. It's better than just giving the Wardens a sniper tank. I mean, a sniper tank in general is a pretty iffy idea, and you know, no, this could work, but at the same time, you know, having a spammable version of the most powerful ammo in the entire game, a spammable vehicle that uses the most powerful ammo in the entire game is fucking stupid. So I want these things to be 75mm, but I still want them to be useful. So all I could think up is like sniper variants, which sniper vehicles that shoot 75mm is it. This is I need to de-stress. This is gonna make me like shoot a baby's head off with a shotgun. I mean, I'd probably do that anyways, but this time I do it like angrily and as a way to relieve my stress. I think of the SCD as the one that owns the day, the tank that can easily get hit by artillery. Yes, artillery. Fucking artillery! It doesn't even matter if they don't even, you know, make it an actual open top. Nobody will die inside. Well, but at least not the fucking driver. The driver is literally invincible. The SCD could, you know, own the daytime as his sniper tank. And while the Stygian could definitely, you know, fight back and deal some damage back, it's not nearly as good at owning the day as the SCD. But the Stygian would own the night. Thing is, here's the thing about push guns and tanks. in the darkness at night, you can see him. You can't see a push gun. That's kind of one of the reasons why we lost, you know, that battle in Tomb of the First, you know, my most popular video. Yeah, the reason why we kind of lost that battle was that any games we got during the day, the push guns would come push us back at night, and everybody would just run away and not fight back. It was kind of fucking stupid, but yeah, the Stygian would be the sniper of the night, and the STD would be a fucking STD fucking with you in the day. Although the Stygian would definitely be more hated because nighttime sniper seems like a bit of a bitch. Whatever. I personally rather the 75mm snipers than the spammable version 94.5, but that's just me. Talking about 94.5 and 75, the Ares and the Predator. One of them is pretty good. The other one's a piece of shit. And I think it's pretty obvious we should delete the Predator from the game. That's not a funny joke. I'm gonna let him out of my basement. I like this way. Like I just can't. I fucking can't. Thing is, the Predator, in my opinion, is in a pretty balanced state. It's a very, very powerful tank. A lot of health, a lot of damage. Just nerf the 94.5, like I said before, to have, you know, one, make the vehicles that have it have less range than the 75mm, and of course, 2 times 2 times multiplier on destroying subsystems. Why was that so hard? I don't think I know, like, the English language. I don't think I ever learned it. The Ares, on the other hand, its colonial counterpart, I love how in the wiki it says, oh, unlike Athena, Ares is sibling. This is meant to be the brutality. It has 275mm. It's just isn't. It had less range than the Predator. And its barrel is shorter than the front body of the fucking tank. Now, let me explain by every tank that has a turret or something like that, where the barrel doesn't extend past the front of the tank. Let me first explain that if you know a lot about tanks or tank games, the front of the tank has the most armor, while the sides don't. Okay? So usually, you want your front to the enemy tank, and usually your barrel will be up in the front shooting at them, you know, because the front of your fucking tank. I've lost my train of thought. You usually want your barrel pointing forward, where your body is pointing at the enemy. Why am I explaining it like this? I honestly am starting to think like a fucking toddler. No, I think I'm talking to a toddler or something like that. I don't know why I'm explaining it like that. Well, you want the front of your body pointing to the enemy, and usually your turret's looking at the fucking enemy, right? Well, thing is, how Foxhole calculates range is by starting at the end tip of the barrel, and to the max range, 35 meters from the tip of the barrel. Now, you may understand that this is bad for tanks that's barrel do not go out past the front of the tank. Thing is, the Ares, the barrels are so small, and the front of the tank is so much farther out. It's like it loses like 5 fucking meters. Like it used to be horrible and have 35 meters of range, which the Predator, which the barrel out the front of the gun is like fucking 15 meters. Like I swear to God, there's like a giant fucking space area there, just directly below the barrel. All right. Which is fucking crazy how much extra range it gets. The Ares has the exact opposite. Fucking 30 meters of fucking body directly in front of the goddamn turret, bro. I swear. There's so much range just lost. It used to have 35 meters range, where it didn't have 35 meters. It had fucking 30, and now it has 40 meters of range, aka 35. I swear to God. First things first, just make the barrel as long as the front body, at the very least. Please, or either that, or here's something cool. Here's a pretty interesting. This is oddball. This is a bit wild and wacky. We're about to start getting. Yeah, wild and wacky. Okay, you're not gonna really be ready for this. Maybe make it so the side armor is stronger than the front armor, especially because the front armor is fucking like tiny, like it's not very wide. That's just a random thing. I really don't. I don't know. That could go either way. It just doesn't seem like a very good plan though, because you usually want to be moving fucking forward. But whatever. This isn't a goddamn battle train. getting into my actual changes, this thing's meant to be called the Ares. I say, after nerfing 94.5, I don't know, maybe put a 94.5 forward-facing barrel at the front of the Ares. You know, maybe. It's just a suggestion. It's just a suggestion, okay? Now look. This motherfucker, the Ares, is 100% modeled. Well, at least, you know, takes. I forgot the word. Inspiration. It's inspired. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that in. That's a good plan. I'd like to say I'm losing my mind every time I fuck up my words, but to lose something you had to have it. So I mean, the thing is, it should have fuck. It definitely takes inspiration off of the land cruiser, whatever, this giant motherfucker, the largest tank ever designed. I mean, the first thing you can notice is definitely the giant ass fucking battleship gun on the top, which, by the way, that is a battleship tank. Whenever, you know, it was being designed by, Nazi engineers, it would legitimately take a gun that was going to be used to resupply a battleship, and they would have just put it on top if it was ever made. It was just so large that even though it had 8 anti-aircraft flat guns on it, it was still too vulnerable to aircraft attacks and bombings and shit. It was fucking ginormous. But thing is, this thing also had a 128 anti-tank gun. It's not known where. You know, like most designs usually have it at the front, but it's not known where the anti-tank gun would have been. One way or another, why don't you just put a 94.5, you know, gun on the front of it, forward-facing with a very small degree of motion, you know, not as much range as the range would be nerfed, you know, it's just a suggestion. But honestly, I think it'd be really cool. The name is the Ares, and then the wiki legitimately points to how, unlike Athena, it's meant to, you know, Ares is like the brutality of war. Even though it only has 2 75mm guns, having a 94.5 at the front of it would make this thing the, oh, you made the mistake of being in front of me?
Yo, Jeremy, check out this lighter.